Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sean Manning here. Red Heifer update. As you can see behind me, there is the red heifer burning on an altar. And if you can see the background, you can tell that that is not necessarily the Mount of Olives, but that is Shiloh. You can see the mount back there. So it is being burned in Samaria. A lot of confusion going on because one half says, hey, it's fully qualified, it is a real ceremony. The other side says, no, it's not fully qualified and it's in the wrong location. Which is it? Well, we have a bit of a crux now because those that believe in the Bible, those that believe in Torah on the conservative side, believe, hey, it fulfilled everything because all it says as far as a location is outside the camp, which it was, and there is not all of the oral tradition for the red hairs and the follicles and the split follicle. Doesn't go that deep. It's a little bit more non-specific. So it was a fully qualified red heifer according to the Torah, but it is not fully qualified and the wrong location according to the Mishnah, or what we call the oral tradition. So depending on which side you fall, Jerusalem Post says it was not qualified and it's at the wrong location. So you know which side they fall on. They fall on, hey, you have to fulfill all the law, all the Mishnah. So they fall on the side with the oral tradition. So we're at a bit of a crux. What do we do next? What's the next step? And don't ask me when Jesus is coming back for his church, because we don't know that. Only the Father knows that. Not even the angels know. But as far as building a third temple, it is mentioned right in the middle of the book of Revelation, which is timed right in the middle of the tribulation, that 7-year time period. So where are we at? We're at the bit of a crux where the next step would be the Sanhedrin is over all things Jewish. So you have one side that says, hey, this red heifer fulfilled that. And the other side says, no, they did not. They need to sacrifice their red heifer in their location. Sanhedrin being over it all most likely cannot build the third temple until they have the full support of the other side. So you're probably going to have to look forward to another sacrifice of the red heifer. And it's going to have to be at Jerusalem, right there on the other side of Jerusalem where the Mount of Olives is at. So be on the lookout for that. However, we may not be here. The only way that's going to happen, because that's on the side where all the Muslims can actually see and smell everything right there, and they know where that spot is, so they got eyes on it. That's probably not going to happen because something supernatural has to take place in order for that to take place. And that would have to be somebody, probably, and here's where I conjecture a little bit, somebody's going to have to supernaturally step on the scene and say, I can make that happen. If I can get one side and the other to sign just a treaty for 7 years, I'll make sure it's enforced. I'll make sure that everything can happen to keep both sides at peace. For 7 years, we know who that's going to be. That is the next step. Okay, we are now flush up against the next dispensation. In order to go forward, we're going to be stepping into the tribulation, and as you know, the church is not going to be part of that. Which means we are now closer than we have ever been to the rapture taking place, if you believe in a pre-tribulation rapture. This is very important. Ladies and gentlemen, spread the news. Time is short. Now we start looking up and listening for that shout and the trump of God. The King is coming.